Hi guys, Tony here from Caveman Props. Now, if some of you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I ask you for your feedback and also any ideas for props you'd like to see me build. I did have an email from one gentleman called Stephen who had asked me how I would go about building a T800 exoskeleton, which would be an absolutely fantastic prop to show you. Unfortunately, it would be very large, it would take up a very lot of time. So I basically said that I would only do that if it was a commission base, which means he would have to pay me. He wasn't that interested, he wanted to do the job himself, just was after some feedback. So I thought about it, and then I came up with an idea. I thought, well, instead of doing the whole exoskeleton, why don't I just do the arm from Terminator 2? If you remember, the arm is the leftover arm from the Terminator from the first film, and plays a prominent part in the second film. So I thought I'd give that a go at building. I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I normally do it. Normally I build the prop and then I show you bits and pieces of how I did it. I'm going to start completely from scratch and do it as a video diary for you. So I'm going to head out and see what bits I can find for you. Right then guys, I'm back from the shop. What I like to do first is I like to hit some craft shops, and the pound shops are always good. One of the first pieces I picked up was this. This is a tube that you put posters and artwork into. What I really liked was the detailing across the bottom here, and also the curved bit here, because the bottom of the arm is like a little cup section where all the rods and bits stick into, and I thought this would make a perfect part for that. So we've got that. I also picked up some little bamboo cocktail sticks. We're going to need some little plinths. And before I hit the hardware shop, I found these. These were little wooden utensils in the pound shop, and I'm going to need some dowel, literally about that long, and exactly 4 pieces. So that saves me a bit of money just buying them. Also from the pound shop, always comes in handy is a little bag of nuts and washers. So we're definitely going to be using some of them in the build with some few other bits and pieces that I have laying around. If I have to run out and pick some other bits up, I will obviously add that into the video with you. Alright, so first job is going to be, I'm going to have taken the screw lid off of here, and I've done a little mark here, as you might be able to see already. So I'm going to cut this out with my rotary tool to leave me this section, and obviously I'll build everything into the lid and put that on, and then that will be connected from there. So I'm just going to use the rotary tool and cut this out. Obviously safety first, got to put your goggles on, and we'll cut this out. Right, and so you finally got that off, and a little bit of sanding just to clean the edges up, and then that should be the bottom section of our arm all ready to go. So I'll just get that all clean up and do a bit more, few little bits, and then get back to you. Right then guys, I've cleaned this up with a little bit of sandpaper to smooth off the edges for you, and making that look all a little bit neat. So that's nice and good. I've also had a bit of a rethink, and I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to use the bottom cap like that, because I feel that just comes out a little bit too far. What I've done is I've cut this off the opposite end of the tube, the opposite end bit, with the big tube in the middle, and what I'm going to do is that's going to fit quite nicely and slot in the middle there, and I think that's just going to give us a slightly better look for what we're after, and then build everything into that. So that's what we're going to start. So I'm now going to start with my utensils. I'm going to cut these down to get the rods and connect them to this part. Right, now I've connected the dowels into here. You can drill little pilot holes and screwed them in. I've also connected this bit onto the bottom. This is where we're going to build the elbow section on here, and then this bit's going to be part of the stand for displaying it. But I'll put this on for the moment because it was easier to do that first. Plus, I've also got something to hold on to while I'm working on these sections. The bit I'm going to do now, I'm going to use this bit of PVC pipe. I'm going to cut this down. This is going to go over these to create our pistons. This is just a piece of PVC pipe and pick up from the hardware store. It's quite inexpensive. You do get it in quite long pieces, but this piece has done about 4 projects so far, so this will probably be the 5th project, and I've probably got enough here just to complete this project. But if I don't, you can pick these up quite easily. They're always handy to have. Right, I'll cut the bits of pipe and just slip them on, so these fit quite nicely. I've got 3 small ones and a longer one for the back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue these down so they stay in place. These make part of our pistons, and by stroke of luck, the pack of nuts and washers I bought, because I wanted the nuts to create the knuckles, have these washers. Now these washers perfectly fit over the dowel and are the same width as the PVC pipe, so I'll hot glue them into place, and then hopefully that will create our little piston look. So I'm going to get on and do that job first now. Right, that's all in. I will admit that was a little bit difficult to try and hot glue these washers in on the tops of the PVC pipes without getting loads of hot glue everywhere. I did a couple of times stick the wooden dowel to the side of the pipe before managing to get the washer on. Hopefully that's all there, and hopefully that will give us our little piston look in the arm section. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on. We're going to put our cup over. That's going to get put on. That will look nice, and then we're going to start working on the wrist before going on to the hand. Okay, what I'm going to use for the wrist section is this. This is just a thin sheet of fiberboard. You can pick this up in the hardware shop, or wood shops. This is the board that they use in the bottom of shelving when you buy flat back furniture. So if you're taking these are always handy to keep if you're taking apart your wardrobes or chest of drawers. These are what they use in the bottoms. They're always handy to keep. These nice and easy to cut, and you can get the nice shapes that you want from very simple tools. Okay, using my own wrist as a kind of guide, I've drawn out roughly here. Obviously you want the places for the 4 pistons to connect, and we're going to have a hole in the middle because we're going to try and see if we can get some cabling to go down the middle, which are going to be for the tendons to make the hand move. Obviously this isn't going to be working, this is going to be a static model, but you just want all the pieces in there to look right. So now I'm going to use my hacksaw, a little pair of cutters and some sandpaper, and we'll get this cut out. Alright then guys, okay, I managed to cut this out, sanded it all off, drilled our pilot holes and a big hole in the middle for it. I'd like to point out at this point, you should really wear one of these masks when working with this material, because the dust can be quite fine. It's very easy to breathe in, and obviously not good if you do that. So obviously these masks are quite cheap to pick up. I think you can get them like a pack of 3 or something for £1. Right, so now we're going to attach this now to the top here, and to make our wrists, and then we'll start working on the hand. Right then guys, slight apologies, I've changed my mind. I'm actually going to work on the elbow section now. I'm going to finish that off. So I've made a simple little bit out of foam that's going to go over here, glue that into place, and that bit's going to go on just to seal it off, to work on the elbow. And then what I've done is, when I was in the pound shop, I found this yo-yo. Very simple yo-yo, but I just loved this little bit in here. So I'm going to take this apart, and that's going to kind of look like the bend part for our elbow section there. So we're going to get on with that, and we'll see how that looks. Alright guys, I've done all that. I've stuck the foam in around the pun, taken the yo-yo apart and stuck that in to try and make that look like it's some kind of joint. I've also taken a 5mm bit of foam and wrapped it around the outside just to neaten those edges off, so once we spray it all in, that should be fine. I'm just going to try and find some plastic to do the little details, like a little bit that comes off here that will be the next bit to the arm, and that will be that, and then I'll work on the rest and we'll build all that up. Right then guys, I've been thinking about the hand and working on the knuckles. Now I have these are little brackets for like a wardrobe where you can stick a drawer in. It sticks in there. Now I've taken these apart and I'm thinking I'm going to use them like this, but two together with a big nut in the middle, some little nuts on the outside in between each one, and that's going to create this little row of knuckles just here. I'm going to use some of the sticks. They all slot into the bottom here quite nicely, and I'm going to use a straw which fits over the end just to bulk it out and give it a bit of space, but the stick will primarily be holding the weight of it. I only have enough of these though to do the first row of knuckles here and to complete the thumb. After that I'm going to have a bit of a rethink on the other knuckles, or see if I can get some more of these from the hardware shop. So I'm going to start working on these and see how we go. As you can see, I've been working on the hand. We've kind of gone up to the first set of knuckles here and I've completed the thumb. I'm trying to use my own hand as a slight reference for this. It's coming along quite nicely. I think these work quite well for the knuckles here and completing the thumb. I'm going to go out to the hardware shop and see if I can get some more of these, either in slightly smaller, so I can finish off the hand and bend them around to try and make a bit of a claw shape. So we'll see what we can get hold of. Okay, right, I've been around the hardware shop. I've been unable to find anything else like this. I did actually find something similar, but it was bigger and I want to work my way down smaller for the other knuckles. So I've had a little bit of a think. I've got this little bit of corner plastic left over, and I'm thinking I might be able to make something out of that. So I've cut some smaller strips off of it like this, and I'm thinking I might be able to make my own form of bracket. I'm going to use the smaller nut which I used on the outside of the first set of knuckles, and then put two smaller nuts either side and glue them into place a bit like that, obviously at a slight angle, and try and create my own sort of little knuckle look. So I'm also thinking for the last knuckle I might just use a couple of nuts and work something round special like that. So it's all a bit of a trial and error and see how we go. So I'm going to have a go at these ones, see if I can glue these and see what they look like. Right, I've had a little play around and hopefully you agree that looks quite good as the joint of those plastic corner pieces. Work with the nuts. I've rounded them off around the edge of the nuts on the outside, just to give it that look as if it is going to actually bend. Then I've just used the nuts on this section. Obviously I've switched from using the straws and the thin sticks here to some dowel, which is about the same thickness, just because I needed a bit more security than the straws and the thinner sticks. The thinner sticks obviously fitted into these ones, which was more secure for that. So there we go. I've had a look back at the original pictures of the Terminator arm, and I'm going to put some tendon bits in here. I'm going to use the thin little cocktail sticks again for that. I'm going to get some cabling to work as the tendons that are going to run down the middle of the arm here. They're going to connect to up here. And I've also been out and I've managed to get hold of a pack of these. These are the little cap nuts. I'm going to put these on. These are going to make fantastic little fingertips for the hand. And glue them on. If you're doing a full size, these come in a pack of 10, so it's handy, so I can always build another one if needed. So that's going to make our fingertips. So I'm going to do all those last little bits and hopefully that should be finished, and then I should be able to take it for spraying. Alright, hopefully you'll be able to see, I've put the fingertips on, added these little bits. I've been unable to find some cable I feel is suitable to the bits running down the middle, so I'm going to still carry on looking for that. I can always add that at a later date. One bit I've done is I've completed this part on here. I did do a little bit of plastic to go on there, but I felt this was a little bit too flimsy for what I wanted, so I went back to the sheet of fiberboard that I used on the wrist and used a little section for that. So that gives us the next section that would then connect to the next part of the arm. I've also made myself up a little stand to make it stand on, and hopefully you'll agree that's all looking rather good. All that's left now is, once it stops raining, I'm going to take it outside and give it a spray of silver paint, and we'll have a look and see what it looks like. And there you have it, guys. It's all sprayed up, and I think you'll agree that looks a little bit more like the original Terminator arm. Obviously this was quite a budget build, using bits and pieces I had laying around, but it just shows how easy it is. If you go out, you could probably make, you know, everything a little bit better. You can buy the PVC pipe and all the bits and pieces and create your own, and possibly, you know, extend it on. Maybe one day I'll get round to doing it and do the whole robot. That's how we go. If I do go back and redo it, I would probably redo the arm joints with the plastic pieces, which I used higher up, and that way I could use the wooden dowel and probably screw them in a little bit more, because these are a little bit delicate, only kind of being glued all together with the hot glue and super glue. But I'm quite happy with the way that looks. It displays quite nicely on the stand. I sprayed the stand silver as well, although you can see that's just wood sprayed silver. But there we go. Hope you enjoy that. Any questions you have, anything else you want to see, just obviously contact us. You can like, you can subscribe, you can contact me on my email, or you can find us on Facebook. And I hope to hear from you soon, and we'll bring another video for you very soon.